Hi everybody, it's Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art, and I'm playing around with a few of my Heartfelt creations and my new Chameleon markers, which I had mentioned in a previous video. I would come back and show you how those are turning out. And I'm also playing with my Heartfelt Creations butterfly medley paper. I have a few cards to make and thought I would share what I'm working on. I'm also using the Heartfelt Creations butterfly botanical wings stamp, the butterfly medley stamp, and these are the dies. And here's my journal, which I've shown you before. I like to put the stamps ahead. So here's the little cluster that comes with the stamps, and these are the individual larger butterflies, and just a sample in this pretty violet purple paper plane that I've cut out and placed near the stamps that they go with the dies. So that's my journal. From there I'm working on coloring in some of the butterflies, and I'm using my new Chameleon markers. Oops, sorry. And I thought you might be interested in learning about these. I tend to be rather frugal, not extremely, but I try to spend my money wisely. And I don't have any Copic markers at all. I have Zigs. But I decided after seeing these chameleons on Scrapbook Made Simple to give them a shot, to put the investment into these alcohol ink markers. And I purchased myself the 22 pen deluxe set. Essentially they really are like chameleons because you only have 22 markers, and this set does come with a nice black detail pen. I'll show you how this comes. It's got its own stand, and it does come with a blender pen and a black detail pen. If I can show you the tips so you can get an idea, which is very nice to have along with your set, so even finer. And it does also come with a package of spare nibs, and as I said, the 22 colors. But here's the deal. You have to, there's a little bit of a learning curve. Learn to work with these markers. There's the lovely colors that I have to work with, and it looks minimal, but actually you're supposed to have all these different colors. Sorry about the glare. Okay, so it comes with a chart, and all of these different color tones come with these 22 pens or markers, because the way they work is they each come with their own blending pen, or blending end of the pen, shall I say. So let me show you what I'm doing right now. Here are the butterflies that I've been working on. And if you look closely, I'll bring them up so that you can see. For example, this butterfly was all done with just one marker. So all the color tones, all the shading, and I'm not the most perfect colorer in the world, so try to overlook that. We're done with just one marker. Now I have already learned a lot. For example, I haven't a lot of experience. I've worked with paints and things over my lifetime, but not a lot with markers. So there's the nib. Alright, and that's a little bit on the soft side. And as I said, I know nothing about Copics. I don't own any. And then on this side, there's this harder nib. Well, when I first started working with these, I went right to the harder nib. I'm assuming that's something that somebody who doesn't have much experience might do, because I did find these gradient little bit of lines going through the work that I was doing, and I realized it's so hard. Let me try this other softer edge. And once I went to the softer nib, don't really see the lines as much anymore. And as I said, all this was done with one pen. So I've been working on these butterflies, and I left a couple to do with you so that you could see these pens in action. So before I zoom in and show you what I'm doing, here is one of the pens in its complete connected set. One tip, the softer nib. The other side, the harder nib. And then, when you pull the cover off here, the blending cartridge, which, if you can see down in there, has a nib of its own. And when you put the marker inside, which I'll do right now to show you, when you place this marker inside and you touch those two nibs, it is now draining some of the blending solution onto the nib, so that when I start using the marker, I'll have a lighter color than when I finish. So you can see that it is slowly but surely darkening to its true color, and it really does offer many different colors. So those are all the colors that came out of that one motion. Now, I guess that people who use Copic markers and are used to going back and forth between the colors that they want and their blending pen might find it a problem, but I really have gotten used to dealing with this a little bit, and there is sort of a rhythm to it and a timing. The longer that you place this onto the top of your marker, the more blending solution, and so the longer your trail of lighter color to dark will be. Alright, so let me just give you an example. I'll do this whole entire butterfly in blue. Take off my softer nib. Don't lose the cover. I'm going to place the two of these together and just hold it, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is good. Pull it off and head down to color. So as I start out, it's very light, and as I move on, it darkens to there. I'm going to turn this around and do it again, and these do bleed through, so you'll either need to use that special non-bleeding paper, or, and there's still a little blending solution in here, so I won't hold it as long, and you have to hold it straight up. And very difficult to be close here and there at the same time, so you have to hold it straight up, because if you tip it upside down, this will drain into your nib and then you won't have the solution. So that's long enough for me. Let me go back down. So when it first comes out, there's hardly any blue at all. The blending solution is keeping it very light, but as I move across, and it's a very slow, it's not a really quick, try not to pick up your marker if you can, and stay connected. You'll see by the end I've actually come to the point where I have blended and gotten at least a few different colors out of that. And now I'm going to clean off my marker a little bit get the blending solution out. You can see it darkening up. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to color the darker blue right in here. I'm not a perfect colorer, but at least you get the idea. There we go. I have to learn how to talk, as everybody says too, while you're working. Question is what to talk about. Alright, so I have that sort of shaded area in a darker blue. And now what I think I will do is put my nib back in here to get more solution. And I am trying to hold it up straight because that's what you're supposed to do. Like I said, if you do it upside down, then that's good. You're supposed to count, but I'm getting to the point where I don't count. I get a feel for it. You can actually see the blending solution moving into the nib. And you can see also that in this wider space, I'm getting more gradient, more color tone range. Let me turn that around after I put my nib on. I'll show you when I have completed the other side. There we go. And that's good. And I'll start from the outer edge again. Lighter tone. Yeah, so as people say, this is rather difficult to do with the tripod in the middle of you. And I am hoping to come up with a solution for that. Get my camera on a little stand above. There we go, see? We're getting some nice color tones there. And now I'll do that in this area as well. And I think I'll keep the same thing going. I'm going to connect. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to come into this area and again start off light. And get darker as I move towards the center. Terrible angle to color from, but that's alright. And I'll turn it around and do the same thing over here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and light towards the edge. And then as I move towards the center, it begins to darken up. Two, 3, 4. And again, I had that on for a long time, so I just want to see a slight bit of blue. There we go. Blue is coming. Nice. These are not exactly the same, but I am working at a disadvantage from the point of view that I am sideways here, trying to get around the tripod. So, and I'm not, as I mentioned, the best colorer. So now I'm going to go back in. I didn't put the blending back on because I wanted this to start off rather dark and end rather dark. And I'm just going over the edges there. I will lighten this up just a little bit before I 1, 2, pull it off, come into this side. Very difficult angle. And then I do like to clean my pen off, my marker off, make sure it goes back to the true color, and be careful that I put the proper cap to close it, and connect this. It is a little drawing on the hand, but while I'm still here, I'll show you one more time. And I'll actually turn it this way. So here is the whole entire marker. And at this point, your blending solution, your harder nib, and on the other side, the nib that I've been working with, the softer one, which I've been putting in there. And it's kind of neat. You get, as I said, a rhythm to it. I'll come back now and do the green so that I can finish up this little guy here. So that's the big nib. There's the solution. Sorry, here's the nib I'm working with. Put them together. Hold them up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can hold them for up to 40 seconds. I have found that in these small spaces that I'm working in here, 5 to 10 seconds was enough. If I was working on something larger, I may actually want the solution to be more filled in the marker. Okay, I'll take you down so you can watch me put the butterfly's body on. And then I'm just going to start up here. And remember, I counted to 5. And I think you'll be able to really see how nicely these work when I do the body, because it's just one continuous length. And a little bit in his antenna. And there you go. There's our butterfly. All done with the exception of the body that I did in green with one marker. Alright, I'll finish these up and come back and show them to you all die cut. Okay, these are my butterflies. Look at all the butterflies I ended up with. A couple of them I noticed I didn't color the bodies. I'll go back and do that. But I think that some of them are really groovy and some of them are really earthy and some of them are very fairy-like. And again, all these tones, these color tones were done with 1 or 2 markers. So all the blues were done by the same blue marker, the pink by the same pink, and of course this one shows the blues really well, all the same marker. And now that I've used my Heartfelt Creations die cut, the only thing I have left to fussy cut is this strip, because that's the only one that they don't have a die cut for. And I don't mind sitting in front of the TV and fussy cutting a few of these out because they're nice and big, and thanks to the fact that I used a die cut, I'm left with these potential stencils, which I might do something with. And remember, I didn't even get into, with the Copic markers, the skin tones that they have as well. This one almost matches my skin. So, and the grays. I'll play with those on another occasion. In the meantime, I'm going to go see if I can find some paper to match up my new with my new butterflies. Alright, first I need a Mother's Day card, and my mom likes purple, so I like the way these 3 butterflies, there's a little pink tones here, and I like the way these purple butterflies match on this 6x6, so I might make my mom a Mother's Day card with that. And then I've taken some of the other butterfly medley already framed and made a few decisions about what might look nice. So I'll go play around with those, cut those out and see what I can come up with, and I'll be back. Alright, before I lose the light of day, these are the cards that I've come up with. They are not finished, but seeing as it was all about the butterflies and the markers and the butterfly medley paper, here's when I did green. And again, that was done all with the same marker. And I just took some of the cutouts from the butterfly medley paper and put it on this cardstock. And there's one in browns and oranges. And I like these little seed packets. There's a few papers with the seed packets on it. This just has it on the edge. A nice little purple one. Browns and greens. Love the lace. Sort of looks like pillars on the side. A more aqua or turquoise combination with a little bit of limey and olive green mix and some pretty little yellowish flowers. And I think red is the one. Reds and oranges I tend to shy from, but I think this came out very lovely. So a little bit of red and green and orange, some browns. And then I needed a birthday card for a friend. Again, this is not complete, but this is what it came out like with my butterflies on a double of double sticky back tape. And just a little happy birthday sentiment, and I embossed butterfly and put some flowers here. I might add a little bit more to this. And for my mom, a Mother's Day card. I decided to use the 6x6s, and I liked the idea of edging with black. It seems to make everything pop a little to change things up. So there they are. There are my butterflies. If you would like any of the Heartfelt Creations items, you can find them at my Zibbit store, and I'll leave a link below. And once again, this was mostly about the Chameleon markers, permanent alcohol ink pen system, which I think I really like. If you're not all invested into Copics, or even if you want to try something different, you might want to give these a shot too. I did get mine on Amazon, but like I said, Scrapbook Made Simple is where I have the replacement inks, and I've decided to invest in that and see how this works for me. So far, so good. I like it. Okay, everybody. Till next time, this is Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art. God bless.